Okay, hey everyone. I want to talk to you about MakerBots. I spent about 8 months with the two behind me. You've got your 2, which has PLA single extruder, and your 2X, which has 2 extruders and runs on ABS, bioplastic, petroleum-based ABS. Um, Spools feed these things, about 40 bucks per spool. The colors for the PLA tend to be less brilliant. The colors for the ABS are actually very neonish, very brilliant, very striking. You can look up the specs on your own. I want to go ahead and give you my impressions since I spent some time with them. Okay, first of all, is the advantage of having something you can produce parts useful? Absolutely. Are these guys good at that? It depends. Out of the 8 months I was using these things, they've been, I would say, reasonably functional for maybe 4. So if you're going to pick up one of these, and they're not cheap, they come in all prices from 400, not MakerBot particularly, but 3D printers come from $400 and up, and the industrial grade ones are very different. Those are like 40,000. But the MakerBot prints, hits at about 2,500 to 3,200. And their next generation, I'm not really sure. ABS is very fumy. PLA is not. Print times are about 15 minutes to, if you're printing something big and it actually works, to probably, I don't know, day and a half. So it's 3D printing or rapid prototyping is a little misleading to people who aren't familiar with these things. When you print these, unlike the more expensive $40,000 ones you'd see at PADT or something like that, it doesn't in a .stl file. So what happens is it makes everything kind of honeycombed on the inside. This is relatively hollow, and you can select all that. Everything goes onto a CAD file that's saved as a .stl, and that goes to what is called their makerware. Word of caution, everyone: if I went from Windows 8.0 to 8.1, and I think the makerware totally crushed and screwed me, and I had to rebuild the system. So be wary of that. Save all your crap before you decide to do that, just in case that happens to you. I'm not the only person who's running Windows 8.1 that had problems with makerware. They may solve that, I don't know, but I actually had to have a Windows 7 station put in, so I put makerware on it so that the people using this would not have problems. Now, let's talk about the dynamics of being able to build your own part. Well, this is obviously some sort of weird, stupid sculpture thing, but a lot of people that did use it, including myself, used it to make practical things, like a water cap that fits underneath that replaces the water cap for a car. I've used it to rebuild a speaker bracket. They have a website called Thingiverse, and there's tons of stuff there. Now, let's talk about what you guys really are interested about. How do these things function? How do they operate over an extended amount of time? This isn't just testing out. Out of the 8 months I used it, they were functional for about 4 months, off and on. This guy stopped extruding halfway through designs, and then I got this guy working, and then this guy, or actually reverse, I'm sorry. That guy was working originally, and then it started that. And then this guy, his heating base doesn't heat uniformly, and that's how he anchors the print up, so it gets loose and starts turning to globular. I really like the machines, and I want to like them more, but I have to say their reliability is really low. It's one of those things, if you've ever had something that the moment you turn your back and walk away, it starts screwing up, that's kind of the experience here. Also, if you're not hands-on and you're not good with electronics or tinkering, this may be something you want to think about. You're going to have a lifeline, a friend, or something like that. You can buy a warranty with them. We did. But how that kind of works out is they will continue to communicate with you through email, but no one's ever coming out to your aid. At the most you can hope for is they agree to let you send it in. And when they sent it in, I addressed it as having problems with large print builds. When it came back, I still had problems with large print builds. Although the small print builds are awesome. They sent me samples. I'm not saying they don't try. I'm just saying that they're probably overwhelmed with problems that happen this, or the fact that there are some fundamental design and engineering problems with these machines. However, all these problems involved doesn't change my viewpoint that having the ability, even if it takes you 5 to 12 prints, to eventually make a solution that you'd have to go to the store or order a special package for, or just design something that fits better than the original, maybe coupling or colander or something like that. That is really cool. That is actually really great. Oh, by the way, the ABS is extremely fumey. Lots of fumes, beware of that. This isn't for looks, this is to keep you from choking. Um, they're not quiet. It's you wanna, if you buy one of these you set up, you're not gonna get away with putting it next to your bedroom or someplace where someone else in your household might want quiet. This is definitely a garage or a private office kind of machine, or run it when no one's home. But then you run the risk of the moment you turn around, walk away, get in your car, drive off. Then one of these guys may decide to have like a hiccup. I'd like to report differently, but that just has been my experience. The newer versions, the Generation 4, may have solved a lot of those issues, and you probably want to do some homework into that. But in my experience, I enjoyed having them. I actually enjoyed fixing them, but my projects were on the line. Should you have one in your lab, office, what have you? Yes. Yeah, you should. Maybe not this brand, maybe a different brand. Find one you like, find one you trust. But having a rapid prototyper or a 3D printer is definitely something good to have. Is this something I would put into a grade school where the librarian or the teacher is going to have to fix it and it may break down or fail? No. No, this requires adults to use. Um, you aren't going to see a lot of young guys successfully. I mean, you might get somebody who takes ownership and decides to steward it and fix it, but that's pretty much what you're going to get. But that's me, not the rest of Teaching America. I still think they're really useful, and if anybody has any questions, let me know, and I'll try and answer them.